Florida? Yeah. Illinois, where else we from?
South America.
Denver.
Certainly big surprise.
Oklahoma said that, yep. Joey. But yeah, I think for someone who's 90 to have everybody like this show out, it's pretty awesome to have all this friends and family get together. I spent a lot of time with my grandma over the past 5 years, so I just wanted to say some things about her that I knew personally, her personality. A lot of people are probably going to share some similar stories, some humor. I'm going to try to save the tears for later because I got plenty of time to do that. So we'll talk about some funny stuff because Graham preferred rather to laugh rather than cry. First, I want to say that my grand did not make it into a hospital or assisted living facility, which is her two greatest nightmares on the planet, and we kept her from both of those things. So it's just a major win. So we can't be too sad about the way Graham's went out. On our own terms. All right, I'll share some things about G. We call her G. Some of us do. So I've been close to my grandma for the past 5 years. Like I said, I've got to spend a lot of time with her. Through all her health troubles and pains and annoyances of doctor's appointments, frustrating self-inflicted accidents, small inconsequential slip-ups, she always made a point to find something humorous about it, possibly turning it into an ongoing bit that we can bring up over and over again. She was very quick-witted and can hit you with a sly comment out of nowhere when you're trying to walk out the door and have you cracking up and thinking, why didn't I say that? We shared a common love for Seinfeld. I think Cecilia did as well, right? We shared a common love for Seinfeld and would often comment on our observations of goofy things in life and try to find a joke in it. Like if shoes turned out to be too expensive when you brought them to the counter at a shoe store, just to tell the clerk, that's all right, I'll just take the box. Then talk about it for just to wear shoe boxes around town. That was 2 months ago. Still telling jokes. Everything was potential to be a Seinfeld bit if we dug into it enough. Even the way she talked about the birds and the squirrels out back as if they're talking to each other, and they had their own personalities, like the wise guy blue jays, the humble crows, the bashful and scaredy cat doves, the polite and perfect robins. Anthropomorphizing animals was one of Graham's favorite go-tos. It always gave her and I a good laugh. Many probably share that same thing. You sat at the dinner table long enough with her. She always felt bad for the critters out back, thinking they just needed a little snack. So she'd make sure to cut up some bread or throw out some scraps for them. No matter what the scraps were, they were getting all of it. Then talk about them coming back at night and inviting all their friends to the buffet, always in some kind of New York wise guy accent. She always had a lot of pride in being from New York, enjoyed talking about the history of the state, which she knew a lot about. She could still recite almost the entire Brooklyn Dodgers lineup from when she was a kid: Pee Wee Reese, Gil Hodges, Jackie Robinson, Roy Campanella. Many stories from her childhood growing up in Brooklyn and Queens. The way she talked about it always painted such a good picture for me to imagine living in that era. Stories of running a few city blocks to a corner store or butcher shop to grab a loaf of bread or some cuts of meat or a fresh deli sandwich. Nothing like a New York bagel, she'd say. When it was MLB playoff season, because she was a baseball fan, we'd always try to catch some games in the living room and have some fresh baseball talk afterwards and throughout the week. Just a few weeks ago, as we were watching the playoffs, she was making fun of the Cubs, saying how boring and unenthusiastic they were looking, making fun of everybody. The last few years, we cooked some frankfurters, aka some hot dogs, for some World Series games, and just for us to make it an event for us to. You better not put ketchup on it. Gotta be mustard. Who puts ketchup on the hot dogs, you say? She always knew who was in National League and who was in American League, but always a Dodgers fan. So last year was fun. Graham had a sweet tooth. I blame her for mine. Definitely her fault. Put her favorite cookies and lemonade over here so you get a treat of what she really likes. Shortbread cookies with some chocolate on them were her favorite. And those are from Dollar General, and don't skip on Dollar General shortbread cookies. They're actually very delicious. Let's see, she was a big fan of Krispy Kreme as well, as most of us are. Whenever I visit in the morning, I try to remember to scoop up a few donuts before I arrive. Always too many, but you can't have too many. Having an assortment is what it's all about. I usually try to give her a heads up if I'm coming over in the morning. But one morning, not too long ago, I arrived to a note on her mailbox that said, there's a little sticky note that said, "Where's my vanilla cream donut?" Which I forgot donuts that morning. So I turned around and got donuts and brought them back as if I remembered. We usually just cut them up and taste them all and then lean on the kitchen counter until we're satisfied or mad at ourselves. Graham can out-lean anybody on the kitchen counter. Olympic champion of the kitchen counter lean. Hours. Made me feel like a baby if I ever had to get up and go sit down and rest my legs. She never gave up. Always in first. It was her favorite place to have a snack and recollect a bunch of stories, a lot of which weren't recycled stories like you'd expect. This year, probably even a few weeks ago, she was telling me stories I'd never heard before. If you dig deep enough, you'd get some new ones out of her. She had ones she liked repeating, of course. Got any spare parts? Where are we at? Yeah, okay, but she never ran out of it. Her memory was insane. Always kind of unbelievable with the amount of facts and details she had lodged in there. Like the name of her friends' pets from 50 to 60 years ago or more. She remembered everything. She was better than anyone I've seen at crosswords. Could crush one in 30 minutes or less, probably. If you want to feel dumb, sit down and do a crossword with Barbara. What, you don't know what that means? No? You don't know that word? No, Graham, I'm dumb. Then she'd go on and explain the word and its origin and how to use it in a sentence. Yeah, makes you feel inadequate as an adult. Always a good opportunity to learn some new words, though. We both had an affinity for words and their origins. I can remember as a kid always looking up in their massive Webster's dictionary, which she always used. She was using it about 6 weeks ago just to look up the word gallbladder to see what its function was, because she never had internet. And kudos to that. Didn't need it. Still smarter than everybody. Not only a fan of words, but she really appreciated a good aphorism or idiom, little phrases of wisdom. Over the years, I started writing them down, so I wouldn't forget them. Here's just a few I was able to capture. I know I missed a bunch, but here's a couple I was able to write down. She would say, "In the right church, but in the wrong pew." As if someone's correct in a general sense, but wrong about specifics. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm sure a lot of you people know these things. Talent is a gift, character is a choice. This one she loved. We grow too soon old and too late smart. Every day might not be a good day, but there's good to be found in every day. A washed pot never boils. And if I'd ever leave the house, she said, "Don't drive faster than your guardian angel can fly." She was also a history buff. Knew everything about the Kennedy family and a lot about U.S. presidents. I started reading Teddy Roosevelt's biography a while ago and was telling her some fun facts. And none of it was a surprise to her. None of it was new information. She was already aware of all of it. But it was all a great kitchen table conversation. Many years ago now, not sure how many, we started doing this comedy bit at the dinner table after eating, which was a routine she was familiar with from a long time ago about two old fishermen who were hard of hearing sitting after a meal trying to understand each other. One guy goes, "I've dined sufficient." "You going fishing?" "No, I've had plenty." "You caught 20? "No, I've had enough." "You have some stuff?" And so it just became a thing that we would do all the time. And we could just end up saying "caught 20" and that'd be the joke. In these past few years, as life was getting a bit tougher physically, she almost made more of a point to find stuff to laugh about so she could forget her pains for a minute. But that wasn't hard. She was easy to laugh. There were times even recently where G, as we sometimes call her, that she would be in tears, full body laughing, shoulders bouncing up and down. we get stuck in a bit and drag it out until it became hilarious, as a lot of us like to do in this family. Can't tell you how much I love that. It was always hard to leave her. It was always hard to leave her house on time. As a lot of people know, very difficult. You got to buffer in an extra 15 to 45 minutes at least for some counter leading with the door open. Maybe both doors open. She couldn't let you go until she finished her thoughts and her stories. When she did let you go, she most of the time ended it with her own phrase or funny goodbye, and might not even let you say anything before she closed the door on you, so that her comedic timing was just right. Timing was just right. One of my favorites that she would say was, "I'll see you when I see the whites of your eyes," or "Get out of my face, I'm tired of looking at you." And then she just closed the door. Here's a few other common Barbara-isms I was able to jot down over the years. I know I missed as many as I was able to capture, but here's a few. This is later on when she was doing nothing but doctor's appointments. Well, they tested everything but my eyelashes. I'm glowing now. How many more CAT scans do you want me to take? And then in the morning a lot, just trying to wake up, she would say, "I need to shake myself loose." Get started. She'd be standing in a row for a long time, counter leading. And it'd be new, and just because she talked too much, she wouldn't be able to have time to get ready. So she'd shake herself loose. She said, I need to move before someone paints a sign on me. That was hilarious. If I were to say I'm staying the night, she'd say, "That's fine, I'll send you a bill at the end of the month." Another thing she started saying when she was just trying to get her legs to work properly, or to step up a step, was, "My feet don't fail me now." And she said it all the time the last few months. And would smile saying it, scooting down the living room, "Feet don't fail me now." Some remaining words of wisdom from my grams that were my favorite were, you should go take a walk after you eat, it's good for your digestion. And laugh at yourself before someone else does. That's all I got. Thank you.